butt plate. Lets me know after about a box and a half of shells.
Yeah.
Feels real good.
They weren't designed with compensators. That is just like a cut-off barrel, and you're like, oh, yeah. Man, the recoil's real nice on this thing.
It's like a 12 gauge that's angry at you. Like that's what the recoil feels
12
like.
12 gauge is way slower.
Yeah,
that one's got a little bit of fucking ass to it.
Yeah, I got that thing. I was like, I really wanted one, and then I like took it to the range once. I was like, that's cool. I'll make it like a display or something, or just like for rapscallions that break into my fucking house.
Wake up everyone.
Just in case.
The rapscallion gun?
Yeah, the rapscallion gun. That's what the fucking
pirates.
I don't fucking know. We're using rapscallions today, okay, boys?
Next to your loaded blunderbuss.
Home defense shot with silverware from a blunderbuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the founding fathers.
What was this? Okay, so almost every round went through everything?
Almost, damn near, and then, after we found out that 9mm and 5.56 would go through a wall, through a fridge, and into a ballistics gel dummy, then we moved the ballistics gel dummy into the bathroom shower while still shooting through the fridge into the shower.
Where the fuck were you shooting? Where, was it in one of the abandoned houses?
Yeah, so he has he bought it in the
I should have started.
No, it's fine. So he has two like abandoned houses.
Neighbors
the Motel 6.
They were like, I mean, they're like full of mold. Like you can't. There's nothing you can do. They just need to be torn down. So he's like, well, I mean, let's shoot bullets through it. I mean, it's a pretty unique opportunity. But so we had 50 cal rounds hit a ballistics gel dummy while the rounds were keyholing. Those were terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how you shred
it
humans.
Was that a dude had a new armpit. It was bad.
That's
I mean, you could see.
So this is where like
the round do this through his torso.
Geneva is not a big fan. Like
No.
big no. That's why the M16s got reworked because they would start tumbling, right? Back in
yes.
the like original.
Yes.
You talking about the original Mattel models?
Like the shit ones, they would
Mattel
start
made the
tumbling.
Mattel, I think that's an urban legend from what I was
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because Mattel made like they made a toy around the same time. And people thought that
Which it's not a fucking far.
Check out the Pando Pet Cafe to play with me.
There's a.
I mean, Brunswick, the bowling ball company, made the gun grips for my 1911.
I mean, the same guys who make your fucking washer and dryer make the fucking Gal 19s. So, like, it's not really a huge stretch.
GE. They make things that spin and clean. That's what they do.
Both the same model, the same commercial,
Same fucking motor.
I need to clean my clothes. Cool. I also need to destroy a fucking convoy of cavalry. You're never gonna believe this.
We have you covered.
because the bullets would yaw like.
Yeah, so like I've interviewed quite a few Vietnam era like infantrymen that were running point, like all of them when the M16s came out, fucking hated them, and most of them, all of them except for one, I think, had their wife or their parents mail their either Mossberg 500 or their Remington 590 from home, and they went around through Vietnam with a fucking shotgun.
I was actually just talking about this a little bit earlier about the early M16s and like one of the things that did it. And, you know, Wendigoon did a pretty good video on that. Like, missed a couple things, but like he did fucking a great analytical take on what actually happened with the military-industrial complex, and like really just like the people, the powers that be not wanting to move to the M16, and ended up sabotaging it. Like the cartridges that they were using at the time, the manufacturer, like Eugene Stoner, basically was saying like, hey, you should never ever use this type of powder for the cartridge for the 5.56 that you're using for this. And they were like, yeah, but we have a shitload of that powder and it would be a lot cheaper. And they already fucking hated that when they wanted to keep the M14 as well. So they used a lot of that powder and it caused a shitload of issues, a shitload of jamming issues with the M16. So it wasn't exactly a problem with the platform, it was a problem with the ammunition that they were given in tandem with the platform.
Well, I
Without
mean,
cleaning kits also.
I think it had to be part of the environment too, because like even in your Trump video where we talk, like we do the ear shot, like everybody's watching the ear, but if you go back and watch Brandon's video in its entirety, you can actually watch as soon as it clips the ear, it clips that much ballistics gel, and within 6 inches the round completely keyholes.
I will also say this: that is a problem with the distance that we were shooting from.
Okay.
Because you have an issue where, sorry, this is like touching.
No, yeah.
Now.
Oh, I'm loving it. Go for it.
Once you get past a certain, if you're within a certain distance of the round leaving the muzzle, certain rounds are worse. Like honestly, 5.45, one of the worst. You actually watch it fucking leaving the barrel like in Victor's videos. It takes a while for the, I guess rotation of the round to actually catch and make the rifle round go straight. And the tail of the round will actually fish around for a bit before it locks in. So it's because we were so close. Because we ended up wanting to replicate it dead on where it was hit.
Right. But I mean, that could also make sense from like the Vietnam guys' perspective because the dude's popping up from 20 feet away out of a bush and you're trying to shoot through brush. Because one of them told me they hated the M16 because the bullets would ricochet off the grass.
My point is
what he said. I'm not saying that's
there
true.
There were dudes who were in Somalia who said you had to shoot a guy 2 or 3 times to get their attention. Because the rounds were going, it was green tip.
So that will potentially be a problem, but the thing is, any rifle round, no matter 5.56, whatever, will do that. That's great. You'll have a period where, like, basically, it's a thing to Nerf football, where it takes a while to right itself.
We need to go back to 45 seconds.
So the original was a 1 to 14 twist rate. So it would rotate every 14 inches. And that's why we're saying with the 8.6. So you have like stabilizing well before 8.
Every 3 inches you're making a rotation.
Versus 1 to 14, which is no fucking wonder it was keyhole and shit like that. Because that is, those were 16, 20 out for the original.
Pretty sure it was 20.
So 1 rotation before 8.
1 1/3.
We're back from the after show with something we forgot that was important.
It's our organic cut.
So,
Ryan.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We have a superhero group that is like the Avengers, except that we're retarded. Yeah, that's a great word for it. Yeah, sure. We all have powers that are normal, like superhero powers, but we have offsets that the group gets to choose that are, let's say, not safe for work. So we would like to ask you if you'd like to be a part of this. What power would
Is
you
there any
choose?
money in it for
No,
me?
we can give you the examples.
God,
so,
you are
wait,
great.
you on the
You told me about the offenders, but I've never been asked to join.
Oh, God, we're doing a double. Okay, so
I already know
for
your
example,
thing.
Eli's power.
I am Crime Cup. I can flash. Fortunately, I can't interact with objects for 5 minutes.
Just has to bear witness to whatever crime he wants to stop.
I can take notes.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Man,
So
fight harder.
You have a superpower, but you also have
And a
a
horrible offset that we determine. You get to pick the superpower, we get to pick the offset.
My superpower is I can find the clitoris.
You're gay.
ZZZZ.
Instant. Fuck, man, I can't top that. Oh, holy shit. Instantaneous.
Now, in all honesty, this is not a bad outcome, but we gotta talk about this poop thing.
He got his real superpower. He doesn't have to fuck with the thermostat. That's what he really wanted.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Go on. All right, Mitchell.
We don't have to go on.
I am fucking crying.
Shit, I don't even know where the fuck I'm. How can I top that? I can go back in time 5 minutes. Only exactly where I'm at.
I just need to recoup
Why are you giving yourself offsets?
I was like,
Pick a real superpower.
Okay, fine. I have the power of inconvenience. I can move your table 1 inch to the right to make
That's
you stub your
an-
fucking toe.
That's an offset.
That's an offset.
Ah, come on.
Pick a fucking superpower.
Fine.
You can
Laser
go back-
vision. How about that?
You're gay.
That's just everybody's from now on.
That
This
was
is like
the
you're
fucking
gay.
weirdest proposal in the history of the world.
Fuck.
They shook on it and everything.
Man.
I mean, they're good. They got it. We don't even need offsets now.
subscribe.
That was the funnest Offenders Day we've ever done. Oh my god.
You were Fort Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Strikers?
Yes, sir.
Eli's got some fun striker stories.
Have I ever?
Face on a striker. We ran it through a building striker. We've done a lot with striker.
Have I ever told you what 19 kilos, as I used to be one, referred to the MGS striker as?
I was in the
Gun
first
system?
The-
MGS. I was in the first MGS striker, or next to the first round ever fired in Iraq with the MGS striker. Next to
One of the first kills.
with an MGS striker, like right here was the ticker. Ennis, my buddy, we were in a firefight. I got hit. Gun went off. Ennis thought it was an IED.
It's the
He was like,
reason.
that IED was crazy. I was like, that was the striker. And then Sergeant Cove, shout out to you. He's like, you good? We're like, yeah. What the fuck did you just shoot? That was a dude.
It's the reason I ask you a question at brunch and you say, what?
Well, because this is the thing. When I was a 19 kilo, the only reason I couldn't stay 19 kilo is because I was Kilo 4 trained and not Romeo 4. Now, the difference is Kilo 4 was on the SEPs, the System Enhanced Package, the more modern tanks. And Romeo 4, they were trained on the MGS Striker. And back then, President Obama was like, we don't need tanks anymore, whatever. And so,
Thanks, Obama.
yeah, and so all the guys went over to MGS, and I was like, cool, I want to re-enlist. They're like, pick a new job or get out. And I was like, I like missiles, and fucking that's where they sent me. Yeah.
Yeah, we used them to literally there's debris to get out senators. When we were exfilling on that mission, there was debris, so we couldn't get out because the Iraqis left debris. So we exfil on the main MSR. What we do, Sergeant comes up, I got MGS.
I can undebris that real quick.
Yeah, really fucking quick. Okay, drive through.
Realistically, like, artillery was one of those positions that got, like, buffed by God or technology or whatever. Because it's like, all right, we're just going to sit back here and just lob a bunch of shit at the enemy. As soon as we were like, yeah, computers can make us, like, hit it within, like, a fucking toenail, everybody's like,
What is this?
This is way more
Dude,
terrifying.
I tell you right now, I have never met like a group of people in the military who love like eliminating humans as much as field artillery. Like I'm just telling you, like it's so strange. They would like, I'd be in the smoke pit hanging out with these guys, and I talked to one of them who's a 13 Juliet. So his job is he works in the FTC, like getting people, like getting them on target. And there was apparently some Taliban guy who was
It's the
talking
guy
about
doing
this.
math, right?
Yeah, he's the guy who
It's
does
literally
math.
like you ever seen the kids in China doing math on the abacus? They're just there.
Yeah.
That's him. Be like, these degrees, get them.
I guess the way he was saying
he's
it.
calling in fucking stratagems like it's hell.
So he's telling me, he's
Ding, ding,
like,
ding, ding, woe be upon ye.
so he's telling me he's like there was some Taliban guy like popping out of a cave, shooting or whatever, and then getting back in the cave. And so they were like, hey, deal with this. He's like, okay, I mean, I can one shot, no problem. And he's like,
deal
okay.
with it.
And he's like, all right. He did the math and he told them their deflection. I'm not using the right fucking words, FA guys. I'm sorry, I'm an air defender. And he's like, round out. They fired, cool. And like 30 seconds go by, dude popped back out right on him, like at his feet. Good dude, 155, mind you. Like that was a 777 shot, and like for one dude, because that's all they had, I guess, was 777s there. They didn't have 119ers, and so like everyone else in the talk was real quiet because they're watching this through like the raid camera, and he was just like, yeah, so proud of himself.
Literally like the buzzer beater in basketball.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Everybody else is horrified.
Yeah, they just think about it. You dropped a 155 on that guy? That was one dude.
I found a bullet.
I tell you,
That's a good day. When you get a bad guy, it's a good day. I just
tell FA guys, man.
tell him that I was on a date.
She did not use those words.
Did she say hellfire?
I might be paraphrasing a little bit.
What was his name?
Wouldn't that be great though?
If you met a woman who knew about hellfires and didn't marry her, you're
I will tell you this. The gay thing, when you think about it, how great would it be to go out on a date and talk about it?
Oh, man.
It's great. And then he would make fun of me for not having a boyfriend instead of not having a girlfriend,
I love it. It's just like the farts that throw me off.
You'd never have to worry about the thermostat. That's true. Now, the only problem I can see is like the butt.
My mom is the guy.
Attached to the butt?
Yeah. I think it's what's attached to
It's
the
all
butt.
it's all fun and games until it's anything regarding intimacy.
Hold on. Stay
Vaginas
with
are
me.
great, but how do we make them better? Let's add poop.
Hold on.
That's got to be a tough sell there.
Hold on.
You have no idea how much of a crowning achievement this is. Probably the worst
Crowning is a
sentence
good use.
ever said.
Crowning is a great use right there.
That is.
Okay, you guys ever have so this is guy talk here, and it's being fucking filmed.
Trout with his Chinese food and his
yeah.
world's best ex-boyfriend shirt on.
Connor, what that girl you're talking to ask you yesterday in one text?
Sorry. What?
What was the text she sent you out of the blue? Tell her about what?
Oh, about Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, the text. Tell me about Bohemian Grove. That was her opening to the conversation, which he's the conspiracy theory guy. So it was.
I'm listening.
Oh my God.
It was a hellfire. Do you not? What the fuck? Anyways.
Wait, names
so-
was cousins? Oh, neighbor. Okay.
So,
I was thinking.
so
Yes. Okay.
Certainly not about vaginas being assholes.
okay. What? On that note, and this whole part's probably gonna have to get cut the fuck out. But anyway, so have you guys ever had guy talk with your buddies, and you're just you're playing video games, you're just shooting shit about whatever. You're existential shit. You can conspiracy theories and all sorts of shit. Somehow we ended up on the topic of gay fucking man sex. Okay, stay with me here. Stay with me. And I was playing video games. My wife heard this walking by, and I was like, you ever take a poop and it feels really good? So I'd say 50% of butt sex probably feels all right. And she just looks at me. She's like, what the fuck?
And you don't have to worry about the thermostat.
The outstrokes.
It's a win-win here.
Just the end that feels good.
There's way too many military people on this podcast right now. We found how many people it takes to make this game. Close this podcast
It was
out.
gay
Fuck
when we
each other.
started. You got what? You got 311? You're 11 Bravo?
Was it 68 whiskey?
He's honorary. It's fine. 16 whiskey is fair.
You got 211 Bravos. And
Hey, medics have one job that I could
That's
never
it,
fucking
medic,
do,
right?
and that's not sticking a thermostat in someone's in another man's ass, and that's triage. I could never
Done
do
it.
that shit.
you really do that?
that.
You
yeah.
really put IVs up a guy's rear?
Silver bullet.
I've done that once. I thought you were talking about rectal thermometers.
Yeah,
That's not
rectal
that
thermometers,
issue.
that happens a lot.
It's usually reserved for when somebody's malingering. So we've had people that would I'm gonna come to the aid station 4 days in a row because I think I had a heat stroke at 8 a.m. over and over and over again, so he can get out of doing his job for 4 days straight. And it's all right, well, here's a note, hand that to the medics, and they already know, but it's just it's time. We're gonna get the core temperature for sure. We'll see if you come back tomorrow with a fucking heat stroke.
So my girl's a medic, so the one time I had a fucking actually legit medical issue at some point. My blood sugar fucking tanked. If it wasn't for her, I would have face down in my fucking kitchen pile, bad off. And she fucking ends up straddling me on the couch, rubbing cake icing in my fucking gums. I was like, all right, so if this doesn't work for you, and if this doesn't end up stopping you from passing out, the next is I have to take that same fucking finger of cake icing and shoving it where the sun doesn't shine. So you better fucking stay awake. And I have never been more motivated in my entire life.
Friends
I will pretend like I'm okay.
I will. This is how. And this is when I really understood autism and sensories and taste. Rival means fucking medicine. We had to take him to the doctor one time. We had to have a rectal medicine. So, and then we were home. I was sick again. This is 6 months later.
This is your son?
Yeah. And I remember I'm like, you gotta go to the doctor, buddy. You're sick. She's like, no. I was like, you gotta take medicine. She's like, no. I was like, okay, it's medicine or it's the butt medicine, the rectal medicine. I was like, okay. I was like, what? I was like, okay, wait, hold. Do you want to do the rectal medicine versus normal? And he's like, that's fine. I was like, Okay, this is option one. Really, God? My God. I was like, it's a pill. Are you sure? All right, fine.
Freaking send it!
Now I understand options to a new level. He'll do that over a regular
Never not call it a big deal for you. Never mind. I'm sorry.
big deal. Got it.
You were just overreacting. But all right.
Yeah, that's. Well, this is the thing. So you're with a girl who's she a nurse, medic,
Yeah, like that.
okay, flight paramedic, and then you were a medic, and you got a couple parts. You've been around medics. You've been around medics. And
I'm a
medics,
CLS qualified.
medics have
I know everything.
They have 2 speeds, and like I've never experienced the second one, but the first one is you're being a baby. Like no matter what it is, like you can have something as long as they know it's not life threatening. You have yet to fuck yourself up bad enough for them to give a shit. They're like a smack. You feel like you got like fat tissue showing on your arm. They're like, yeah, you're a bitch. Go get some doctor. You're fine, right? And then there's the one where they're like trying to act cool. They're like, you're gonna be fine, dude. You're gonna be fine. Like I never want to look a medic in the eye and be like, you're gonna be fine, man. I promise. Yeah. That's when shit has gone downhill real fast.
There's a real comforting factor to your being a bitch.
Yeah, like it's.
That's the second part of the training you're about to. And like, make sure you tell them it's cool. And you're like, it's cool, man. You're not gonna die.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
Pulling tourniquets out, applying pressure.
Oh man.
I will tell you so tourniquets.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my arm was cut off.
Yeah, it was. Geez,
Next time, start with what?
That is a scar.
You know the whole story?
Yeah. No, start at the end.
1994. Private Macbeth, joins the Army infantry.
Man, we had in the military?
No. This actually happened, but it goes all the way back. All right, so I had this drill sergeant.
When I became an instructor, I wanted to get a course modification. So when I talk to my pilots, I would talk like this.
That's exactly how he would talk. And he was like a god. He had been in Panama. He had been in Grenada. He hadn't been in the first Gulf War. He was on the trail. He was a drill sergeant. But he revered this. He revered this kid. He was like a walking god. And I remember one day someone had an ND.
Invasive?
Invasive. And it was actually in the starship. If you go to Harmony Church or Sand Hill. No, I was in Sand Hill. Wait, there's
Okay, yeah, they didn't do that.
So we had to put away your weapon. Oh, so it wasn't like ND. He did it. Well, he did it vertically.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And then
As a private,
that's a problem. And it was a problem with the drill sergeant.
He goes in like Shen Chung comes in.
Exactly. These drill sergeants, they smoked us. I want to say for about. And at some point, I was like, I don't know if he was. Now this guy, by the way, drill sergeant, he used to make me carry around. I go, Mac, we'll be waiting a chow, saying parade rest. Macbeth, where Macbeth? I wants to hear a sign. To run out in a little buck and read it. The voice is Macbeth.
So yes, it was blackface.
Macbeth, you so funny. I don't like white people. I make an exception for you. We're definitely on blackface. So this guy,
Sergeant Johnson.
so I was,
That's what I'm picturing right now. I'm picturing the full-on UNSC armor right now.
I was on my back. I was doing flutter kicks, and you fly pretty good for a brick. This guy, he puts his round brown like 1 millimeter in front of my face. He goes,
Miss Macbeth, never give up the will to live.
and I was like, okay. And like at that moment, I didn't give up the will. I decided I was gonna push through, and I did. I eventually became an instructor. I Now the funny thing came when I got out and I was. Call me an ironworm. I don't look it, but I do triathlons. I do marathons. Who's saying? Everybody was.
I like it.
God, wouldn't that be great? Just conjure her into being for me. I can't even get a freaking date, right? It's tough being a smoker and a gun owner in the Washington D.C. area.
You're the one gun who asked you know, how you felt after tossing a health pack.
So, I was riding my bike. Riding, and it was 5:30 morning. And I take a turn, I take it a little too fast, and I realize about to hit the concrete light bulb. Last moment, I do this, you know, and the light bulb.
Like, is it
It's hanging by.
dude, when you get it's not great. Like, this
No, I can only move my arm. So I remember I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself,
do you have, like, fingers, like, mobility and shit?
I went to physical therapy for a year.
My gunshot looks like I got a bad mosquito bite.
No, yeah, this was not from combat, but I actually went to physical therapy and I did it. Can't, because when I try to pour M&M's, you can't fall out. Oh, crap, I can't do it. Right.
So you wrecked in a bike and then fucking
A bicycle.
Bicycle, yeah, tri-bike. I was going 18 miles an hour.
And that's why I live off of my firm belief that if it doesn't have tits or a motor, I don't ride it.
Good idea. So I'm lying there and I'm like, how many seconds do I have to put on a tourniquet? I got 15 seconds.
yeah,
to put on a
max.
tourniquet.
Yeah.
And so I have my
I want
bike
to kiss a
jacket.
guardrail at 89 miles an hour like God intended.
I got one of my bike wrenches and I tightened down my bike jacket. They don't tell you how much.
Oh, dude, yeah, like ours is. Ours is like it's gonna fucking be terrible. Turn until the bright red blood stops.
It hurt. It was the worst pain of my life. And I remember I picked up my arm and I looked at my phone. I'm like, all right.
When was it?
Oh, so God, damn.
And so I'm looking at my phone and all the signals. Stay here. If I stay here, I'm gonna maybe jog will come by.
Never give up the wheel to live.
And as I pick up my arm and I start walking. And I start walking down that trail. Until eventually I get a signal and call 911. They actually sent the ambulance. And I had to walk to the ambulance. They didn't even come out with the thing. Then they had every freaking problem.
Did you ever reconnect with that drill sergeant?
I did not.
You're watching
No,
this.
they're probably
Drill Sergeant,
What's his name? Drill Sergeant.
Drill Sergeant Ricks.
Drill Sergeant Ricks, if you're watching this.
He never lost a wheel to
Or
live.
if you know a drill sergeant that was black and had that voice.
They take
Comment below.
They take me to the hospital, and it's a teaching hospital. So they send these nurses in, like these student nurses in, and like some of them are coming, and I guess they don't get a lot of patients there, so they want to show them what it looks like when I'm lying in bed, right? And some of the nurses come in, they're like, "Ooh, yeah," turn around. Yeah. This one nurse comes in, and goes, "How'd this happen?" I told her. She goes, "I wouldn't have been able to do that." And I said, "Yeah, you would have."
Never give up the wheel to live.
He's like, this guy
Turns around like he's mentally ill too.
That guy's racist.
Therapist on aisle 9.
We're gonna send mental health down here and the doctor to fix that arm. Don't worry, we got you.
More surprised just that fucking scar is gnarly.
Yeah, I mean it was. You should have seen it. I can show you the X-rays.
I just want you, like, holding the skull, but it's a tibula.
I can show you the most
We
of my
can't show
left
this.
arm.
I know. I would like put it up on the screen, Jake, and blur it out so you just see like
Most of my
Skin
left
color
arm is
red.
brown. I am like the Terminator.
I don't even. When did you show? I don't even know.
And mine was like the IEDs did more, but they shook my brain more than the bullet. 'Cause the bullet grazed off. It bounced off the wall, and broke down the wall. So I like lost just a lot.
Is it like a grazing wound or like?
No, just it hit and then barely went in, stopped, and I just had a massive bruise that wrapped all the way around. The next day, I went to the aid station, did not get any time off.
You didn't?
Was on
Yeah.
a mission the next day.
That's the smartest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went to the wrong hospital after I was shot, so I didn't get a day off.
Yeah.
So Ennis sat down on the striker. Ennis climbed over me. He put his hand right down on my leg to climb over me. I was like, ah! He's like, oh shit, sorry. And then it was supposed to be an
so he
easy
knew.
mission. Oh yeah, Ennis knew I got shot. He just forgot it was in that leg. Then it was like, hey, we just lost 2 dudes, and a team got sent back. We won't go on missions. An hour later, we got a mission. It's gonna be easy. I go.
Yeah, we gotta do it, guys.
Yeah.
I used to have a commander that was like that. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna fight for us. I'm gonna go to battalion. This is BS. Bob will come. This is BS. And then an hour later, it comes back. Well, Bob will come. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
Bravo company. Literally, we're Bravo company. So
That
like,
sounds
hey.
like the most like generation kill shit ever.
Yeah, it's our Bravo company. And then ran up to the mission.
Roman standards.
It's an easy mission. No one's there. I was like, okay, I'll lead it. I was leading the squad, and then a fucking machine gun goes off. I'm like, fuck, I'm in a field, so I like pivot around the house. Everyone follows. Like, what the fuck? I was like, hey, what the fuck is going on? And then Ollie. So I was like, hey, sorry, that was us. We had a breach with the 249. I'm like, why the fuck did no one? My heart was really like,
We had to breach with the
yeah, I don't know why they had to breach with that. We
For reasons.
I tell you right now, we had this guy.
I look back on it like it made sense.
We
at the
had
time.
this guy.
The construction standards aren't great. A foot works.
Yeah. We had this guy. You say what you want about the 249. We had this guy Face, not like Face from the A-Team. On his Texas ID, he looked like Leatherface. He's the ugliest motherfucker you ever meet, but I love Face. His name is James Haynes.
Leatherface from Texas.
I'm telling you, he's awesome, dude. And he took his gangster grip for his saw and put it on the side like a Tommy gun, and then fucking wolf hooked it to his shoulder, and that dude hip fired like a fucking G. Dude, Face was the shit. I loved Face, man. He was a good dude.
Everybody
still
either
around.
has like on the 249. Everybody either has like a horror story or they fucking love. There is no in between. Yeah, I think it all like from what I've heard, it all depends.
Yeah.
Like, whoever took care of it, like you replaced the screens, you replaced everything, like it ran great. But if you just fucking let it fucking ride for 20,000 rounds, you're fucked.
I had this other saw gunner. He's part of the reason I'm deaf. Marlon P. Makoko. He's a little fucking Filipino kid. Best. I could tell him, hey, Corporal, you're fucking Makoko. Chew through that fucking door. Roger, Corporal. And he wouldn't even fucking question it. He would just go. Like, best soldier I ever had, man. And Coco, he kept that saw like immaculate. It doesn't matter if he didn't fire a single fucking round. Like, you could eat out of that saw. It was immaculate. And then that little son of a bitch, he cleaned the 50 cal on my truck one day. And it was like perfectly clean. And I was like, Coco, what are you doing? He's like, I cleaned the 50, Sergeant. I was like, no, you don't clean the 50 that way, man. No, what are you doing? So I was like,
Washing
took the
your
truck.
coffee cup.
Yeah.
Fucking do that.
Did you just put
It was seasoned.
Did you just put my fucking cast Put it in the dishwasher, you fucking freak!
So I had to explain it. I had to show Makoko, like, no, the 50 fires better dirty. Like the M2, she's better dirty. And then, like, so we took it out
She
to the
finds
range.
a groove.
Like, it's just a perfect spot. And that was back in the day when you still had to do the head space and timing. Nowadays, it's just shove it in, twist it and stuff.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, they fixed. Yeah,
They fixed
fixed
that.
head
Yeah,
space
it's
and
the
timing.
A1 or well,
It's still the M2, but it's just the new barrel. I
yeah,
have no
the
idea.
M2.
Yeah.
The new. Our boys are nodding right now. They're like, yeah,
It's our shit. Like we just shove it in like 3 clicks to the right, right?
Yeah, you know that's.
it's walk it in, rotate out, look in the window, good to go. A lot of you don't know this. If you would have got a M2, you would have. If Civil War would have happened, you would have found a machine gun out in the battlefield. You're like, cool. You would not have been able.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Be a
jailbait.
single shot piece of shit. If it didn't explode.
What the fuck?
But
Screw
you
the barrel
probably
in. I did. It's not working.
Carlos Hathcock figured it out.
That's fine.
Carlos Hathcock.
Oh, you just did a video on that.
Oh yeah. He's got the world. Well, he had the world record for the longest confirmed kill for a long time with an M2.
What-
Brits in
what was the
Afghanistan, I
exact-
think. Yeah.
What was the exact miles?
It was 2,500 yards.
That's the thing. Like an
So
M2.
about a mile and
Everyone, like in my chats and stuff, they'll ask me like, "What is your favorite weapon?" Like if it's not like a specific style of weapon that you're asking for like favorite pistol, favorite, it's the M2 heavy barrel. Every single time, it takes the reliability of an AK with the accuracy of a fucking sniper rifle. Like, and it's just, It's a bullet hose. I love it. I love everything about it.
Mark 19 will jack somebody up. Will
To
jack
Mark
somebody
19,
up.
I have never seen a single. All right, I'm just gonna go off on this.
Please.
Here.
Yeah.
Everyone gets tangent time. Go.
Yeah.
I've never seen a weapon system that has more issues than
I could never get one more than like 3 shots out of it without having to fucking
Man,
reroute.
It's an
I've
LSA
never
on
seen
that thing. You gotta take care
Put
of
the
it,
fucking
man.
whale sperm in there and shit that they gave. Well, it's a different type of lubricant. It's, I don't know what it's
Oh, I
called.
bet.
They're just like put the whale sperm in there. I'm like, all right, I get this fucking tube of grease and like fucking piping it around in there. I don't know what the fuck it's made of.
Because I have seen like people like sit there and fucking have to kickstart this thing. It's a goddamn motorcycle. He's like,
Yeah.
it's. And I get it's probably the same thing with the saw, but like if you replace all the shit, you keep it like immaculately lubed and whatnot. It doesn't have like a billion fucking rounds. It's probably okay, but I have seen people have so many fucking.
Ours were so unreliable, we took them off our trucks and replaced them with 240s. So we had 250 cal trucks and 240 trucks. And I'll let the pig eat. I love the 240. It's a good solid weapon, mounted or dismounted. I love the 240.
You also can't do escalation.
That's true. That's
There's one
shoot a warning
setting.
shot.
Again, the generation kill where like the warning shot bounces and fucking hits the guy in the head.
Oops. Fire a warning shot. This is a grenade launcher?
I hate this story. It's the my story. With the warning shot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I want to say who. What? They ran away? This is 100% true. Also, Mark 19, a story. But he had weapon system. So
You don't say.
Weird.
Imagine that.
And they tried to promote him until they actually found out it was like, hey, this is not fucking doing it. Just cooked one off in Baghdad, and we're like, uh-oh.
No way, no.
Uh-oh.
So they have.
Sorry.
The 40 mils, a lot of them have a minimum resistance. That shit landed.
Way up, and then went
I mean, if it
somewhere
landed
down
somewhere
the road.
soft, just hope a kid doesn't pick it up. I guess that's just. What?
I mean, yeah, it's a great hope.
I found a golden goose egg. I'm sorry.
Some of those kids got really good at them. And the
telling
ones
you.
who didn't, well,
They were hopping around. Yeah, that's
Darwin.
fair.
Mark it on the FPCB2.
Playing Minesweeper as a child in America. How the fuck do I play this game on my dad's computer? Playing it in a different country. Whole different
I
experience.
tell you right now, so we live right next to a minefield in Afghanistan. Like literally, you go out the gate of my cop, and like 100 yards away, minefield starts. We didn't know it was there. The 82nd we ripped out with, like, didn't tell us it was there until we were driving one day through this big open area.
Where is this?
Malajad, Afghanistan.
Oh, okay, got it.
Chicago. And yeah, Chicago. No, and we didn't know it was there until like we were driving along, and I looked out the window and I saw the red side of about 4 rocks. That's how they mark them there. The little Afghans will take a rock, they'll paint one side red, one side white, and they're like, okay, don't go on the red side. And we were on the red side. So that's how we figured out it was there. And
Jesus Christ.
I met in that
Well,
minefield.
the reason why Burma's never won the Olympics was soccer.
That's it. And like that, we're canceled.
That was the one.
Yeah, that was the one. So
I like Nick gets that just looking at his face. Yeah.
I met
Sorry, I think of things and I say them.
I met 2 Afghans out by that minefield. One of them was a straight up American capitalist. Like I would have imported that man into the United States and made him a citizen. Because like we kept on hearing like explosions like 2 or 3 times a day. We're like, what the fuck? And we go like way out there with the road that you get through the minefield. And on the far side, there's some dude digging in the mountain. And he would like dig as far as he could and then go dig up a landmine, put it in there, and shoot it until it exploded to get further. He was pulling gems and shit.
I
out.
think that's called stimulating the local economy.
I couldn't even be mad at this guy. I was like, don't dig in the minefield? Like, I had no idea. Like, no one knew what the fuck we were supposed to tell us. And the other one, we saw this guy on the race camera. He was out there like digging around, looking for a landmine.
When you say raid,
So there's a camera on a giant pole that sticks up like 50 to 60 feet in the air, and you can like zoom in anywhere. Yeah. And so we saw this guy, he was running out there, like, hey man, what are you doing? And to this day, I don't know what the disagreement was, but he was like, you know, I do not like my neighbor, so I take lemon to the consumer. Like that's like, It's just like, I got no problem with you. My neighbor, fuck that guy.
Those they are still like that.
Yeah, that's the
100%.
Yeah.
That is.
like
I used
that
to
was no big deal over there. It's strange, man.
I had a I don't know how much I should say about this. It's somebody that I used to know back in the day. Like he had sent a video at some point where he was Lebanese.
Okay.
And he had sent a video of him firing a PKM into his neighborhood.
Jesus.
There's somebody I had talked to because I was curious about the culture and things. They answered like, you don't fire. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay. So the guy that I was talking to was like, yeah, this is a video of me shooting a PKM into my neighborhood village. Where like, I'm like, oh god, you're serious. And I was like, what the fuck happened there? And he's like, oh no, it's all good. After we did this, they shot back at us, we shot back at them, and then they decided to keep their peace by offering our village another PKM. This was all over ago.
Yeah.
And they were just like, the elders shook hands and it was done. Like, wow.
It's that part of the world man, is so just fucking the way they are about just murdering each other. You know what? I don't know if you know.
I mean, ancient civilization.
But it's like an ancient civilization from alien technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
That part of the world is so like people like well why do they want to kill each other? Fucking different tribe, different fucking hairstyle, slightly browner. I like pick your fucking poison, man. Like they just want to kill each other. You're part of this. I'm part of this. Like there was these people that rolled through. By the way, has anyone ever properly taught you how to breach and clear? It's because there's no fucking doctrine on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
March 19th.
I was gonna say flashbang through the opening, see where the bodies are.
I was 10-star and section sergeant. I didn't get out of the truck. I said, private, clear that tent.
I just because there's these there's
See
nomads.
the silhouette of an AK in the flashbang. Like,
That's the one. But no, so there was these there's nomads and they live in Afghanistan. They're literally called Coochies. That's a real thing. I'm not making that up. Not making fun of the culture. They're called Coochies. And they there was an American that was pulling security. He lived next to a power box, and I grew up full of little barbarians. Fucked up war. And they're like, a week later, we found some little kid playing with barbarians. And we're like, hey, little guy, where did you get those? He's like, my dad has a whole bunch of them. Where does your dad live at? Right? So we take it, and it was one of the Coochies living there in a little nomad village, and like we didn't know how to breach and clear a tent, so we like all got on one side and like took knives and like cut it open and like ate inside. Like we didn't know what to do. The most horror movie way possible.
We cut open the tent.
Why are you trying knocking?
You ever tried to knock on a tent?
I am so glad Crossfire finally come in home. They're just playing Crossfire. Americans cutting open a tent, scaring the shit out of them.
But we found like a big old bag of barbarians there, like 200 or 300 of them, and then we found some like IEDs, like fire making and stuff material. We're just like, yep, this is the guy. So like we hauled him off. The next day, Coochie Village was gone. Like the tents were just packed up, and we're like, fuck this place, and rolled out. Like, we just left.
No mad people. Literally what they'll do.
It was wild. Man.
Love to be a gypsy in a place we don't like.
So
I forgot, we went on tangents. Sorry, it's reeling it back in.
Carlos Hathcock has 93 confirmed kills, like 400 crossbows, but he had this ridiculous standard because this was like the first scout sniper. So it had to be witnessed by his commanding officer for it to count like a confirmed kill. So that's why he has as many as he does. All of his
It's like one of his homies, but
yeah, so like he was best friends with Jim Land, the guy that was the first scout sniper. He was on missions with him. So his only confirmed kills are from when he was on missions with Jim Land or when he was on Overwatch duty on Hill 55.
He did a lot.
Which he did a lot of. And the Viet Cong would always just operate at night, and the Marines could go out, they could take anywhere in Vietnam, they could take it over. The problem was the Viet Cong was shit on high ground, they just kind of move logistically. So they would just like, cool, you guys take the hill, we're going to go to this little park at night, and whatever. And over time, Hill 55 was a lot deadlier to people passing by because they have snipers that were over and they just like, so they didn't have a scout bar. And so Carl Kastoff got CBs and was like, hey, make a mount for my scope off my Winchester 170, and I'll just slap it onto a 50 cal, and I'll just have to re-zero my gun every time I overwatch it.
I love that he started with, fuck, I need a couple engineers.
I need a couple of instructions. So he mounts his scope to the 50 cal, and every time he does, he re-zeroes it on the same rock. Big ass rock. And he said he recorded like 3 kills around the same distance. The one that was like seen by a commanding officer. The first one, he's on Overwatch duty. Vietcong scout, whatever, and Carlos is following him. He's like waiting. The max distance. It's all the way out there.
It's on that rock.
I did the math ballistically. Even if he aims perfect, it's anywhere within a 6 foot circle. So like, he can only get it so accurate when he's got to let Jesus take the wheel.
And that
he
is,
can never get it
that
so
is
close.
with the best conditions on that record.
Correct. Yeah.
The best ammo. Like,
Yeah.
Your
So like,
best case scenario.
even then, there's a degree of luck, but he at least figured with the weapon. At least I can get him to fuck off if they're trying to.
And that's not full auto. That is like full.
Yeah, single fire. Ball.
Like you're not. Okay, what if it's
Right. Yeah.
you gotta be dialed.
So this scout is walking along. Carlos is following him, waiting until he gets close enough, just to get it close enough to scare the guy off, because he's trying to get eyes on him. And he's watching it. This really nothing to it. Like, it'd be a really good spot to stop, pull out the binoculars on top of the rock that you see those the gun on. Okay. He fucking calls the commanding officer. I was like, come here. He's like, you see the big rock? Like, which one?
Z,
The
Z,
one with
Z,
all the
Z.
fucking bullet marks on it. Oh shit. Launches it. I also did the math. It would have been like 3.2 seconds. Yep.
That's a
3
long-
seconds
that's-
after you fire a bullet's fucking forever.
It's a long time.
It's enough time for you to tell yourself, I missed. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. For sure. So he fires, and he's like, I missed. And this Viet Cong guy, right when he fires it, the Viet Cong dude stands up. And as soon as he stands up, catches it right inside his head. Oh, forever away.
Dude, that guy was looking at binoculars, which is even better because he would have seen flash and went, wonder what
He stood up and caught it.
and just gone.
You know, like the second, like he was deleted in reality and then just appeared in the afterlife, and the pearly gate, the guys at the pearly gates was black. It's like it's just
I wonder what.
Because when you,
My video, I had watched the edit. The edit is outfielder in baseball running and jumping and catching a ball with like
it doesn't take shooting at, I think, 2,000 yards very long. You just feel it. It is 5 to 6 seconds away from pulling the trigger, watch rounds go out, wait.
when I was in SDM.
To be fair, that's not the distance. That's not the time it takes for the bullet to hit.
That's
the
the
time
sound.
it takes
Yes,
for you to
exactly.
hear. Because obviously, it's like light travel. So like to get confirmation like audibly, it's
You just sit there and you're like, did I hit it? I don't know.
And you're like waiting, yeah. Because when I went through the designated marksman course, I only reached out to 1,000. But it's, I mean, you squeeze that trigger, you like, did it move? Like, I mean, because I only had a 10 power vehicle in my phone. Like, I couldn't fuck. 1,000 yards is like
1,000 with 10 power.
Yeah, like
he
it's.
did this with 8 power.
Oh fuck me, dude. That's like. Fuck, I don't even.
And that
That's like
fucking
shooting one of the
butterfly
grains
trigger.
out of a whole bay at 100 yards away.
And
Like,
it's a
that's fucking-
butterfly trigger. And that is not the most, you're like,
Little mushy.
yeah, a little mushy. You don't know where the break is. It's a machine gun trigger.
You're talking about 8 power. You just went from a 6-foot variable to a lot bigger.
Yeah, dude, that's. I imagine though that like with that 8 power, he could probably see fucking bullets. The first time I saw bullets, it was fucking flash. Right? You can see like it's like the Matrix, like you see it go up. So I bet like in that 8 power, if there was any wind or anything, I mean 50 caliber wind's probably not gonna affect that much. But like I bet he watched that round come up and like just slowly come back down until old boy's brake got popped. Like that's fucking cool.
If he wouldn't have stood up, he would have been fine. It would have went right over the top of him.
I would love
Doing it. I recreated it through the scope shot to prove that was possible, and we're gonna 50 cal shot. We don't even need to because nobody. That's like the one thing to do that nobody disputes. But we're still gonna do it just to see if we can.
I want to see what the bullet added up. How it
Yes, I mean,
Oh yeah, 100%. It's enough. That is a large round. When you're going up, a little heavier. I know when you did the shot, but during the drum, you get it done. Okay. Oh, it was a little more. It's a more difficult shot just because it is smaller round technically versus 358. That's
I want to say KTBN there's a certain like
yeah, like yeah. Still fucking hurt. You know what I mean?
That's 700 grains of fuck your bitch.
heavy ass round.
Well, I mean that new one, the new world record, I guess supposedly out of Ukraine. There's a video of it where he was saying some crazy amount of it. It's like I want to say it's like 2.3, but he did it with a 20mm anti-fucking light armor like gun. And I have no idea what kind of load you're using or anything like that.
Those modified codes they're using, or what?
I have no idea.
Cord, I think, would either be 12. I think it's 12.
There was a picture of it. You can probably look it up. Like whatever gun he used, he's like posing with it. It's fucking massive. They're like, yeah, 20mm. Like it's for anti-light armor. And he was just fucking popping Russian grapes at this crazy distance.
However, that's when you're in Ukraine and doing stuff like that, like we broke a record like that. It's probably one of those fucking like the Ghost of Kiev kind of thing.
Well,
God knows like what they act.
I mean, but here's the thing too. If I had a 20mm, and I'm looking out there and I see just a group of Russians, my error of like my margin of error is pretty low. I can just like, okay.
Were you aiming at that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, when you got 15 dudes on top of a BTR.
I have the one I caught.
Yeah.
You're not playing. You're not calling your shot.
That's not the bullet with your name on it. It's more like the human making sound.
So I think what we were going to talk about earlier is the online.
Yes. I literally was just listening to this information.
You pissing off everybody, left and right and center. I enjoy it.
I actually have it on my phone. My old boss, Major Adam Kraft, he wrote and he said that Putin authorized the sanctioning of Ukrainian bloggers. He's authorizing killing Ukrainian bloggers who are helping raise money for Ukraine. I'm thinking, wait, I'm your Huckleberry.
Putin, I think.
Wait, hold on. I can have that feeling again and not go to jail?
Didn't Russia like just convict like a gymnast or an ice skater of high treason for donating money?
Yeah, it was like
$56 convicted her of high treason.
Yeah. What do you want to know about this? It's pretty good.
I mean, I just think it's interesting how I guess so you did a video where there was a Twitter account that was you taking down misinformation of a bot. Like, how do you initially determine a target? Like when you're scrolling your feed on Instagram or Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you're like, that doesn't seem right. What's the process of going from like seeing something strange to proving it?
It really, a lot of it depends. So a lot of it's the same as targeting. But typically what I look for is stuff that it's hard to say. It doesn't smell right. And usually people will send me information, or they're consistently lying. So once I discover that, the next thing I do is I take down like, all these folders. And the next thing I do is I develop a full pattern. Now, typically, this is what we use children. So I can figure out when you wake up, when you work, when you lunch, when you come home. I might know. I can even theoretically know what room you're in. I can use it. Tailor it. So after I developed Proof of Life, it's fascinating. You know, it blows my mind. People do the same thing. You do the same thing. Wake up, go to work, stuff, come home.
Luckily, we don't.
No, apparently you. But most people, they do the same thing every day. Wake up, go to the gym, go to work, go home, go to the grocery store. So you develop a pattern of life. In that pattern of life, you go, okay, look at this person's online this hour, this hour. So you can develop a pattern. You can actually take that pattern and go, okay, where did this pattern fall into play with workday home? Then there's other tools that I can use. And one of the tools is if there's an email address, one of the ways to grab information is to look at records of where people are located in the empire. And you can say, okay,
Damn it, back.
has this email address been used in an updated antivirus? Okay, yes, okay, what computer it is. What is their keyboard? Oh. Yeah, so look at the word. No, Russian.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Russian
thank you. I
text.
appreciate it.
Don't eat that. No, you don't eat it.
That's the best part. Honey, don't eat the salami.
So yeah, basically, that's just one of the ways. There's other ways. Like I found this one dude. This dude claimed
It's over, mother. I hate you.
So this one dude claimed that Israeli snipers were shooting Palestinians. Israeli snipers use 338.
All of them?
Oh, for the most part.
Is that like a
Well, 338 Lukula, 308. But you know what a 338 Lukula does.
Yeah.
So no one's bringing their kid in with a little hole in their head going, oh, my son was shot by an Israeli sniper. This one doctor claimed that. And he wrote an op-ed. He wrote an op-ed. He's got a headache. And the drones. Oh, that's weird. These drones are flying way higher than maybe depending on the kind of drone. Usually the drones.
So it's kind of like those Facebook posts where they have like full impact 5x6 cartridge. with,
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking AR-15 round hit my house.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, no.
Remember,
not
if it
really.
hits your ear, don't take your
Is
head
it
off.
true? Is it
Yeah, well,
true?
that's what I
right?
hear.
So there was just a number of inaccuracies in the story, and so I said, all right, I knew this doctor. I knew that he had a practice in 3 places. So I went and I bought his cell phone and opened it with his advertising. When you go into a supermarket, you your phone is connected to Wi-Fi. And that's why when you go to the checkout counter, you get an ad for Browse pasta sauce. Because you were standing in front of the pasta sauce aisle for 10 seconds. The store knows how long you're standing in front of that pasta sauce aisle, so they send you a coupon. So I'm like,
Man, I'm
Everyone
scared to
just got scared.
I was like,
Everyone's like,
all right, so
why I turn all my shit off.
You're married, right?
Yes.
You're married.
Well,
so have you ever
effectively.
said to your wife, like, hey, we should go to Italy? And your
oh,
wife's
I
like,
know. That's
yeah.
yeah.
And then you go to the bathroom and you come back and you look at your phone and you're like, oh, wow, this app's really my phone. No, your wife and your home router knows this phone.
So that's why I get so many anti-Semitic memes.
Damn her.
And butt plug ads. Yes.
I'm not gonna damn
so much time around Cotter.
Yo, you're on the podcast with Indiana Jones right now.
So then,
Oh my god. Hold on. How does one buy cell phone data? Because I was under the impression that like you could do that, but I thought you bought it in like
you buy
large
advertisements.
batches.
Yeah, you buy in large batches, and you get it in different formats. You can put it into a spreadsheet.
Are you
and
just
then-
like getting lucky though? Like
Oh no. So I know what this guy. I know where his 3 offices are, and so I just put it in the spreadsheet until I find a phone that's consistent.
How do you buy a batch?
So you buy it for all Virginia
Yeah,
for a
geo-
certain. Yeah, you buy that. That costs.
Because like we even
But I
knew
really
like,
love my job.
even during the campaign, like we know just like the geolocation.
Yeah.
We would go for registered voters with those. That's just having a smart enough, like not to spend large swaths of money. We want to be as possible, smaller. Oh, let's market like predominantly registered Republican voters.
You're doing it for the bad guys. You're doing it for the election.
But so
I literally make dick and fart jokes as planes, so I'm right there with you, man.
I in this particular case,
doing pretty well.
I figured out where this guy's 3 offices were, which the things from that. From that, I figured out where that is. From that, I can see like, all right, his cell phone never went to AEW, never went to Dalton, never showed up in New York.
You're doing fucking God's work out here, man. So this is the thing, and I recently explained to
I will find you.
the Army. So I was trying to explain to the Army National Guard, and this is the analogy I use, the power of social media. Like, this is why he's doing amazing work, because so 23 years ago, September 11, 2001, the United States suffered the worst terrorist attack in world history. World history. Not just American history, fucking world history, okay? Now here we are 23 years later, and we have people running around outside of colleges praising terrorism because Hamas has a better propaganda campaign on social media than the fucking IDF. Like it's
weapons system.
Yeah, hold on.
TikTok is a weapons.
Do you have any thoughts on? I just think it's crazy. Like generally speaking, up until like the 90s, I would say, fuck communism has been pretty American centered across the board, left and right. And then like 2000s, it kind of started more of a right wing sense, like including calling Barack Obama a communist, like bashing communists all the time. But now, for whatever, obviously social media, but like Republicans seem to be like sympathizing mostly with Russia and Democrats
To peel that back a little bit,
I don't think that's true at all.
an allegory that my dad used to do in the 1980s. He had like very left wing views. He used to wear a shirt, like of course this is like after 1984 he had a shirt that had like a fucking Wolverine thing that said better dead than red. He was a piece of fucking shit. He was very anti-Reagan at the time. It's like I feel like this has been the same.
So I'm gonna say I'm friends with Sebastian. He's Trump.
Oh really? Yeah. He's a friend of mine too.
Oh,
Yeah, Seb.
so I text him every once in a while. I've been on the show. Yeah. And we both work.
Really?
And yeah,
What do you do with this time?
I'm an intern. How many missiles did I ran off? 2,500 missiles. So I
Way smarter than me.
So I one of the things that President Trump is the first president to sign peace.
How are you doing today?
And President Trump had the foresight to know that Russia, I don't think Russia wasn't a threat. Russia wasn't a threat to the West. It can be given to President Trump gave these. Now, when we talk about what year, this was, I did a video about it, but then also
Sorry, just to,
a little bit more than that.
you're acting that.
sorry, just to add. I didn't mean necessarily even national right politicians. I was just talking about people.
So, that's
This is, I think, what we want.
Right.
Yeah,
that's because they're not real. I
dead
don't,
internet theory.
I don't think there's
That's
any.
what
I don't think there's any Republicans running around crazy blood this week. There might be some Republicans who they don't like the idea of giving Ukraine money when we have problems here. I get that. We're really not stuffing C-17s with pallets of money and parachuting it out over Ukraine.
I mean, like we do to Iran.
Well, that's a different story. You know the money. You know why we give money to Iran? Because Iran supplies about 1/3 of Iraq's power. And so we take that money and we put it into like a fund, and we're held by Turkey or it's held by either Turkey or South Korea, and then eventually we release those funds.
Hold on, I have a pun to make. Iraq, pay your fucking bill. This ain't Section 8, motherfucker.
We can go into why can't Iraq make their own power. That is one thing, but so
They had a thing that happened over the last 20 years.
yeah, right.
They took a big fat L.
Yeah. So
I like that simplification way more.
I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, all you fucking chuckle fucks out there.
I have a degree in fucking gender studies, and America lost in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Find me a single strategic battle that we lost. I can come into your house, whoop your ass for 20 fucking years, and then when I get bored of you hiding in the closet like a bitch, and I leave, you can tell everybody you fucking won too, you little fucking...
Is it a bit reductive? Sure. Is it wrong? No.
So, I think, we're not. One of the reasons that when people say, oh, we're giving $56 billion to Ukraine, really what we're doing is we're sending them our old stuff. Well, we're sending them our old stuff. So missiles,
It's only about 4 times that.
missiles expire. You have to shoot them.
Then they cost more money to get rid of.
They cost more money to freaking give them to the Ukrainians. Let them shoot them at the Russians. Saves us money. We get to build new ones. And there's not enough days on the dude. Once when we train on the ITAS, you're like, I'm going to say something.
I know every segment right now. Trust me, I'm just
Keep going.
I'm thinking of retention, and I'm like,
Once we
questions to this.
absolutely. So once we were training the ITAS. We were training the ITAS, and this guy from Raytheon, who's part of the let me know you have got. We'll bring you as many missiles as you want. When they expire, you have to. And one time,
How much was that for you?
a tow missile costs $60,000, but they're going to expire anyway, so it was cheaper to shoot them. And dude, I never thought I would get bored shooting tows. Tow is a wire grenade, they think.
Oh, yeah, I know.
By the end of like the day, we're throwing trash cans up in the air. Full!
For the record, they have an expiration. It's literally a just buy.
I mean,
You ever bought me
Hear me out.
cheap weed? It's the same thing.
The toe fucks.
here, I'll translate. You know how on like 4th of July at like 1 p.m. all the fireworks stands go 75% off?
Yeah.
That's what's going on here. They just don't want to pack this shit up and wait till next year.
Fun fact about the tow missile, more pieces of armor, apparently, I learned this recently, were destroyed at the Battle of 73 BC by tow missiles than were by aviation.
It is hell on a wire. I have a bunch of Brandon
The toe
t-shirts.
fucks. The toe fucks.
I hate when during my war, our the 18th. It's like going on missions with them. Just remember, it's lighter if you carry
ZZZZ.
You can usually miss. You can usually tell a electrical perspective on both sides.
Well, the Russians have before, they have some.
Like, what I've learned through this whole thing is that Russia has lied a lot, like they always have, but like, I did research on China recently, and they just like, all of our shit off of Wish is what they have. Like literally, one of their support helicopters is a Black Hawk off of Wish.
Like, they were gonna buy it. We were gonna sell them the Black Hawk.
No shit. Yeah.
And it's a good thing we don't buy anything from them.
Z20 or something.
Yeah.
It's like a Black Hawk, almost as smaller. So it's kind of very cheap, you know. Okay, next missile system. Okay, it's called a tall, 5 feet cold out and
You do look a little Asian.
I
So
am
this is
It's the
and you're Hispanic, right?
it's the QZ.
Military friend group.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the QZ-blank. It's like something America's already made before.
I mean, well, that's the thing.
Chinese
And so
good.
recently, they stopped developing next generation air dominance. They're just upgrading the F-22. And people are like, well, why are they doing that? The F-22's dated. And it's like, no, we're so fucking far ahead that, like, when we go to war, it's like we're being sent back in time. Okay, like, that's just the realism of it. No one can fuck with us logistically, navally, like, anything.
There's a reason we call it near peer.
Exactly.
It's insane. Like, with the number 1 Air Force is the Air Force. The number 2
Is the Navy. And the number 4 is the Marine Corps. Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Logistically, I ever tell you my chicken sandwich story? Egypt?
Hold on. Wait. I want to stay on the bots.
Sorry.
That's where we're at. So
I wanna talk about this so fucking
if a lot
bad.
of these people don't exist because they're bots and it's all misinformation, do you subscribe to dead internet theory?
I don't.
You
But
don't?
I would
Okay.
like to start killing people.
Let's talk about
Fucking
that.
Christ.
Wow.
No, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Please
It's gonna be great. I
Can I
know
just
where he's
explain
going.
my side
Please
of this?
elaborate.
So
I wanted to pose the question, like, for those who don't know, like, because you pointed out a lot of these accounts that you think are Russian bots, and you think a lot of the chatter going on, and especially when it comes to like Twitter and things that are kind of more bot prone, which I think they have gotten better recently. They're basically just
Or
bots
have the
talking
bots
to
gotten
bots
better?
that talk to. Well, at least they don't like try to sell me porn every day. They talk back and forth, and it just creates fuzz that basically drowns out the real internet of like humans communicating with each other. So basically, at this point, when people try to like put something out on the internet where you actually talk to people, or people largely given up and are just drowned out by AI, some of the bots, things like that. Is that a theory that you subscribe to? If not now, happening very soon?
I don't think it's ever going to happen completely because there's always going to be people posting things like, hey, look what I just ate for lunch. Right? Like I just posted a message on Twitter saying like, hey, I was just a bunker training at Clint today. Here's some neat footage. So there's
At the
always
same
gonna be
time,
people doing that.
is the Turing test getting harder?
I think with, if I can speak in on this, looking
Yeah.
at the development of AI and VFX, fake AI, dude, watching the new AI and chatbots, how they can interact with guys.
Yeah, it's all
And,
that.
yeah, and it is like, hey, hold up a picture to prove you're real. They can do that, and you're not.
So guys are now spending real whore money talking to a computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I don't think that's that far of a stretch to just change it.
Yeah, dudes are having naughty conversations with like AI Hermione and shit. There's a lot of weebs in my chat.
Because you get to see it now.
Dear God,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
IG looking, if you know what you're looking for AI followers, and they're if you know what you're looking for, you're like, that's AI. Majority have no fucking clue it's AI. I'm like, that is
Well,
absolutely
if it fills a need,
terrifying.
right? Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't matter. But if you're
That's a
learning, if that's
horrifying thing considering the question I
Exactly.
asked. But
Yeah, right.
Exactly. It is. It's just learning. So you're like, oh, this is human. If this is a need, how many other needs are there, and then how can we weaponize this?
You know,
really
I was talking with you. How did I know you're real? Right? I was texting you, when I got your phone number from
Ethan,
Ethan?
Yeah.
the guy next to me.
I think that
the
helps.
fake one.
That genuinely helps my theory.
I'm getting this bottle.
we got it.
I'm Ryan and Beth, baby.
Let's go.
No, I feel like you should keep going.
We're digging into this now.
Yeah,
So-
did you ever do the oh my god, dining out? Or dining in? Did you ever do a dining in? You know, the dining-in ceremony where you have the bowl of grog and the device.
We get basic training.
Yeah,
Try to keep me away from the grog, baby.
Yeah. It's a basic training when you finalize the final ruck march for infantry. That's what we did. It's the final ruck march.
The only time I've ever had grog is at Army balls, and I tell you right now, the grog is. I went to one Army ball when I was
the
a
army version of the mat shot.
I don't know what the match shot is.
It's at the end of the night. All the drinks that got spilt or fucked up that collect in the mat.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dump
the mat.
it into a drink.
I mean, kind of like it's like significant. They're like, for our time in the Philippines, they put like a Philippine whiskey in there, and you know, they just-
that's
cleaner.
the ceremony.
yeah, it's slightly cleaner, and then
Slightly.
yeah, it's
alcohol.
It's not fit for human consumption, but I mean, like military balls are like the best experience of your life because. Like just get drunk enough to enjoy the debauchery. Like I will tell everyone who's ever been to one, just get drunk enough to enjoy the debauchery. The first one I went to, there was like a couple of army wives almost got into a fist fight on the dance floor.
Nice.
We had a sergeant call the cops on himself because he thought he had alcohol poisoning. We had a retired CW4 pushing through the crowd because his 16-year-old daughter was brought there by one of my soldiers. I'm telling you, it was so fucking good. It was just the debauchery was just phenomenal.
If any of you guys out there want to invite us as your dates, we will join.
I would totally do that because I need a date, like badly.
You hear that, Riley Reid?
And if you
Jenna
watched the
Hayes?
conversation earlier that they didn't delete, I might have to go to the male side. I don't know. At least I won't have to change the thermostat.
That's what your go back. It's like a fucking thermostat.
So, hold on.
Have you ever?
No, hold on.
Hold on. We wanted to talk about like
Back to you want to kill people.
Yes,
Because I
please
know where
expand
this
on
is
that.
going,
Please
and it's
expand.
funny.
Yes, please expand.
So I actually, one of the things I've been talking about since last September was we need to start genetically targeting disinformation. So if you are a if you're if you are a
Hold on, well, I'm holding the base button right here. I potentially
Non-American.
closer.
So if you are
curious.
if you're a civilian working in a munitions factory making artillery rounds for the enemy, are you a valid target? Hell yeah. But if you're working in a disinformation
Only
factory,
because you can potentially be killing our guys.
okay. So let's talk about effectors. Forget about weapons. Let's talk about effectors. When you buy a drill, you buy a drill because you want a drill, or do you buy a drill because you want a hole? You buy a drill because you want a hole, right? So a drill is a hole effector, right? It creates the hole.
At what point are we sponsored by Raytheon?
Shut the fuck up, Brandon.
Some of us might about to be. Shut up.
Hold on, he used the term effector. That's Northrop Grumman. Hold on, all right, go ahead.
Cut to you by Nick. Chase played just a random ad from Radio.
So you have
Let's get that Raytheon money. Let's go.
why do you use a weapon? You don't buy a Tomahawk missile because you want a Tomahawk missile. You buy a Tomahawk missile because you want to effect the target. Destroy the bridge. Now let's say you wanted to deny the enemy the use of a bridge. Cool. Use a cyber attack.
Have we declared war on this enemy?
We're already
It gets good.
All right.
We're already.
I'm strapped in. Let's go.
So,
Thank you. So much better.
and I'm ready to be gay.
Leave the politician hat off for 5 seconds.
So,
My fellow Americans. I'm sorry.
if
Not that kind.
If a foreign bot network tells a bunch of weak-minded college students to go shut down this bridge because to support Taiwan, and Taiwan has always been Chinese, and by shutting down this bridge, you are fighting the imperialist, colonialist, capitalist United States of America that just wants to use Taiwan for its resources, that's a weapon as well. It is an information weapon, and the effect is the same as blowing up the bridge or using a cyber attack on the bridge. It is exactly the same. It is a weapon system. And these people who launch these weapon systems need to be targeted and killed.
A weapon system that we have been using in almost virtually every country we have fingers in across the planet. And are we allowed to be targeted the same way in response?
Well, that's up to their lawyers, but I'm not aware of it.
ZZZZ.
Dude, I just genuinely one of the best
Best answer,
sir. All right.
Aren't you glad you waited?
Yeah,
Let him cook.
I was.
I agree, but goddamn.
And then you know what I'll do? I'll go home. I'll crack open a beer. I'll order a pizza, and I'll watch the Nats. Jesus. And you know, look.
You know what? Goddamn.
Let's fucking go. Let's go.
You know, look.
I'll base some good shit.
Last Sunday, I gave a briefing to the Ohio, to a Judge Advocate General Continuing Education Convention in Ohio, and I laid out my case for this. And I've been talking about this since September of last year. We need to start killing these people. That if we are at war, we need to start kinetically targeting disinformation actors. We might just target the building, we might target the data center, we might target these individual people. We might use some stuff that's up close and personal.
Just to be
That's
clear,
weaponeering I don't do.
You're targeting them for speech, to be clear.
Well, hold on.
Well, I'm targeting them for using a weapon system against the United States.
I have a question.
By weapon system, you mean speech.
Well, it's speech that's inciting a certain kind of behavior.
So by speech that is inciting a certain behavior, you mean speech.
Hold on. Hold on. Time out. I think there might be these people that
Just to clarify.
the people that you're suggesting targeting are state-funded actors that are going to a job where they have a factory of cell phones with 50,000 social media accounts. And
Those are the targets. I'm not targeting somebody who said...
Not like a shit poster.
You're not talking about
a poopy
one
head.
Yeah.
If you want to be a...
The only differentiation between those two things is whether or not the person has the IQ to know what they're talking about.
No, the difference is that
they're
it's
just
state-funded.
State-funded and has access to...
It's a state-funded weapon system. Look,
So I'll go even further on that.
Oh, man. Do I need to move? Do I need to move?
I like it.
I'm right in
Let's
between.
go.
We were just
What if
talking
it is
about
a
cum
fucking-
last episode.
Military-industrial complex or whatever fucking, like, redacted-esque company funding these things.
so if you're talking about America, the military-industrial complex doesn't exist.
Well, Eisenhower disagrees.
Well, you know who else said? You know who else said words in 1963? Governor Wallace, right? Who said like, "Oh, black people
Well,
can't
that
go
was
to school
also a
here."
problem.
Yes. So, but look, just so
standing up.
I'm feeling like
Eisenhower was right in 1963. However, by 1993, there was this event. It was called
Jurassic
The
Park.
Last Supper. You're right, Jurassic Park. The Last Supper. The Last Supper, essentially all of the top 15 defense contractors were brought into a room in the Pentagon, and they were told, listen, we don't have enough money to pay you all. So you need to start merging, or you need to figure out how to cut costs and shut down.
Is that how Grumman became Northrop Grumman?
That's how Grumman became Northrop Grumman. That's how Lockheed became Lockheed Martin. That's how Raytheon bought up ATK, all these other companies.
Oh, it's RTX now. It's not Raytheon.
And then
Sorry.
the military-industrial complex ceased to be a problem after the 90s.
They did. Honestly, so listen, take a wild guess. How much
This
money...
has gotten off the fucking rails in the last 10 minutes.
I did a whole video about this. You do not want to contest me
I'm
on this
here.
because I
Let's
have
go.
the
Let's
data.
fucking do it,
All
brother.
that shit I said about no monopolies, that was wrong. Undo it now.
Take a wild guess. The top 5
I find this
defense...
very intellectually stimulating.
Ethan's like, can I sit here?
I kind of want to swap, man.
No.
Oh, shit, all right.
The top...
Just in case they start swinging.
The top 5 defense contractors. Take a wild guess how much money they made. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Take a wild
appreciate it,
guess how
brother.
much
Thank
money
you.
they made. Top 5.
Top 5 of
Defense, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, RTX.
over what time
trillions.
period?
Last year, 2023.
600
Oh,
billion
2023.
dollars.
No,
No,
that's
200
pretty.
billion.
That's pretty low.
2023. Top 5.
All of them?
Less than
All of them,
directly
all
less.
5. The top 5.
1.6
Less than 20
trillion.
billion.
I think I remember reading Lockheed Martin makes like fucking, I want to say like fucking $2 million a second.
I would
It's-
say
dude, it's nuts.
That's okay.
13 point. I want to say 13.6 billion.
That was pretty good. Yeah, less than 20.
13.6 billion. Do you know how much money Procter and Gamble makes? Made in 2023.
Procter.
Procter & Gamble. They make
They
money.
Yeah, but when they
deodorant,
make
they make
money,
everything,
when they make
everything.
money, brown people don't die
So
directly. They can choke. But Procter & Gamble's a gaming company.
So Procter & Gamble made about $14 billion last year. So Procter & Gamble makes more money than the top 5 defense companies. Now explain to me.
Now, did they do that in 2011?
I did not grab the data for that, but
I wonder why.
well, look.
Where are these peaks? Yeah, let's look at peaks and valleys.
Look, I can tell you this. Do you personally? Well, maybe not you. Do you personally know anybody who works for a defense contractor?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you work in fire.
I'm a mulligan. I get it.
Yeah. But for most of us, name a single person. Name a single person.
Steve.
Who works. Okay. Well, Steve doesn't get. Steve's an asshole.
You just say a random
Name a single person that works for a defense
Steve
contractor.
White name.
So, essentially, what I'm trying to say is that companies like I think it was Apple that made $97 billion in 2023. They don't even hold a candle. So if you're a congressman and you have Apple in your office and you have a guy from Lockheed Martin in your office, and both have a briefcase full of money, who are you inviting in first?
Well, I can promise you, as somebody who's seen the inside of that game, which one shows up with the suitcase. One of them organically has the money.
So, for the most part,
Steve shows up a lot of the time.
Steve's a fucking dick and he lives there.
So when you compare it to, I think it's the S&P 500. I think that RTX is like number 55. So basically, the whole idea behind the military-industrial complex is that the government is buying planes and tanks and ships that it can't really afford, or we don't need, but we're buying them anyway, and we're doing it
Because they apparently expire.
well. Missiles expire. They do. The missiles expire.
Dude, if you disagree, Dick Cheney will shoot you in the fucking face.
But it's the
You want to
truth.
sit down?
This
It is the truth.
F-22 is expiring. We need to pick it up right now.
Sorry, we're in the lightning round now. We're just fucking around.
Just swap
Check out the Pando
But
Pet
the
Cafe to
deal
play with
is
me.
that when you look at these companies, how much money they make, they don't really make any money. At least compared to
only $11
serious,
billion.
At least compared to other companies, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble.
Only the top
Do you
companies on the
own-
planet.
Do you own any stock in Lockheed Martin? Any of the top 5 defense
I was one of the
contractors?
only congressmen that was ever going to take office without owning stock.
Okay.
No, because I'm going to
Does
go to heaven.
anybody here at this table? Does anybody here own a defense contractor stock?
No, because I'm going to heaven.
No, you
Oh,
don't,
Nick's
because they
going to
don't make any money.
Nick does.
You know? What do you own? What do you own?
They just made a lot
Okay,
of
does
money
anybody here
last
at the
month.
table own a 401k? Or have a 401k? There you go. Yeah, the one who owns defense contracting stuff.
So essentially, you don't invest in defense contractors.
I do.
I work for a defense contractor. I work for the Texas.
So
Air
nobody
Med Lab.
has any stock in Boeing.
I don't have any stock in Boeing. I might have an index fund. I might
Boeing's
have-
kind of having a
As soon as I found out that
Boeing, yeah, Boeing was not
Boeing's
gonna-
having some
Lockheed
hiccups
and
right
Martin
now.
made a
People stuck on the
good
space
chunk
station,
last
planes
month.
falling out of the air, doors
As
falling
good as
off.
Apple?
this
We're
is
just
I think
This is not
yeah. Lockheed and Martin like tripled their.
Let me talk. Have you ever tried to sell a gun to like the state or to
A
a
felon?
state organization or something like that?
They wouldn't pass the background check.
All right. So look, when I work at the Texas Air Med Lab, it's a company that uses AI-powered drones to.
Yeah, that's a big fucking climb.
That's in
Yeah.
6 months. That was a month ago.
A lot of stocks went up, but
That was literally during
That's
when
aggressive.
the assassination of President Trump. That is what. No, when Biden. It was the assassination, or when Biden. When
The Iranian.
no Biden stepped down. That was one of those two things that we seen that giant.
Oh no, excuse me.
so let's have they released their profits for the quarter? Because that's where you got
the quarter's not
Hold on.
Well, last quarter.
That's a question for Brandon, because I know that you're very against like the speech thing, targeting government-funded agents about speech. Just playing devil's advocate.
Sure. Let's go for it.
Like not generally. The line for freedom of speech is a call to action for violence against other people. So if state-funded actors are promoting violence against other people, does that change your thought process?
In order for that to be true in regards to international diplomacy or different things overseas, you would have to also accept the fact that us calling for action within the UK riots would be grounds for the United Kingdom police to come extradite U.S. citizens, just like they're talking about doing.
Not U.S. citizens. I'm talking about like state-funded agents going to work for 8 hours a day running a bot farm.
Convincing Americans to try and do sketchy shit.
What I think is that and this is what I think for most of social media, to be honest, like, and this is it's a nuanced topic. I don't think that any of the laws have been written or any of the rulings that have been made about the laws that are on the books have considered the ramifications behind what has happened in the last 5 to 10 years.
That's fair. That's fair.
I feel like there's no actual legal precedent behind it. We've not found the line. Do you agree with that?
We haven't found the line of when you can kinetically target. Because we're trying to figure that out now. That
Big
wasn't.
Beth is over here like, I can do it right now, actually. What do you think I was doing on the plane's Wi-Fi on the way here?
That wasn't exactly what I said, but it's close. It's
Look, I just find him. I don't do the weaponeering. And, when you're
Terrifying human I know now.
How deep are we? The fedora is getting more and more menacing as time goes on.
So you thought it was Ryan McBeth. This is El Chapo.
Am I an Iron Dome target if I say it was 5.9 million?
You boys ever played shuffleboard with a mine?
Oh my god.
We're gonna figure it out. I'm just bringing it up that it's a problem, and we need to start. We need to start thinking about this, because I guarantee you that the day China decides to invade Taiwan, it's probably going to be in 2027, 3 years before this happens.
I'll take all my fucking AMD stocks out.
The day China decides to do that, I guarantee the next thing that's going to happen is China is going to wage an information warfare campaign over the internet and say to young, impressionable college students, go to the nearest naval base and glue yourself to the ship for China, because Taiwan is being influenced by the capitalist, imperialist, colonialist.
Every time someone says China, all I think of that video. Donald Trump, don't listen to China.
China is asshole.
That video, man.
I don't think you're wrong. I really let me just, I know I've kind of played, ironically.
Let's kill people together.
I'm getting there.
That's the opener of the fucking thing right there. Let's kill people together.
That's the shortest intro ever. A rainbow. Let's kill people together. They're like, man, that intro beat was only 1 second.
Oh man.
The more you know.
Fucking Christ.
I don't think you're wrong on that.
I'm
I think
stone cold sober.
of course.
As he pours more whiskey.
I don't believe you.
There are definitely ramifications that will come to this stuff, but I don't necessarily think you're wrong, and that will be the best way. That is going to be an angle that they use to target.
Hear me out.
I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
We
Any
can't take it to
direction.
court and figure out what's right and wrong until somebody at least does it once. No,
What I think is like
honestly,
We need you to do Canada things.
Let's light the scandal, is what Nick's saying.
Look, Canada and Poland are both itching for some war crimes, so I say we just put them in the chute, let them figure it the fuck out.
Oh my god.
we've been Rangers lead the way for the last fucking 25 years.
Yeah, just go ahead. We'll
Have
just
you guys-
slide you guys some missiles that are about to expire and
have
fucking give you a rapey bear and let you do that.
I mean, I wonder what happened to the other Moabs that were expiring. To be honest,
Have you seen like the Communist Party that was marching through Philadelphia, and then the new Communist Party released a propaganda video to announce the new Communist Party?
they look so fucking gay.
Bro, did you find out why there's been a Communist Party in America since like 1906 or some shit? Do you know why they had to launch the new Communist Party? You're never gonna guess.
Oh god, this is gonna
Guess.
be good.
Give a guess.
Is it branding, merchandising?
Did it have to do with the child?
In their mission statement, they said that they had to start the new Communist Party because the old Communist Party was too corrupt. and then in their propaganda video, they've got like all this badass like blue collar, like very Soviet era work together bullshit. They've got like a welder welding on a pipe, and they've got whatever, and then they've got a fucking harvester, you know, like a combine, except it's white and it's got the new communist logo on the side. Except it's not harvesting anything. So even in their commercials where they don't have to have free food, you motherfuckers still can't even imagine feeding people. It's incredible.
I think it's great that also like fake communism in a capitalist country didn't even work, so they had to come up with new communism. Fuck.
They didn't even have any power yet.
I was watching it. I love watching debates, and I was watching this like super hardcore, legitimate pro-communist guy just debate with
Destiny?
somebody that read a book. No, and
I got a chuckle from you.
he brought up China. And he's like, I don't like communism because Mao Zedong killed 40 to 80 million people. And the dude's like, well, yeah, there was some death during the revolutionary phase, but you know, after the revolutionary phase, China actually saw the biggest rise in the standard of living.
Thanks to
anywhere,
Steve Jobs.
everywhere else in the fucking world has. No, fuck that. The fucking breadline got 80 million motherfuckers shorter, Brandon. It's obvious why nobody was hungry anymore. What do you mean? I didn't realize that we could just kill the weak and be like, oh, fuck, the problem's solved. And now everybody's happier.
After the 10% culling, an American comes along like, hey, I need people to build an iPhone. You're like, yeah, yes, sir.
We'll do it. How do you feel about communists, right?
Oh, I don't like communists.
I've caught on.
Actually, there was that old saying, like, kill a commie for mommy. Like,
I've never heard of this old saying.
I guess slap another magazine right into my M16, cause all I ever wanna see are bodies, bleeding bodies. You ever heard that cadence? Pull a pin on the hand grenade. Should have seen the mess I made.
Okay,
cause all I ever want to see are bodies, bleeding bodies. No.
Why did you sing it like Frank
you're
Sinatra?
good at singing.
All for
Yeah.
fire on the ice cream truck. I guess those kids were out of luck. But all I ever want to see are bodies, bleeding bodies. Yeah,
I
that
would
was.
love to run with you.
Yeah.
I
That was
guarantee you
great.
soldiers were so
I
hyped.
want to leave the city, got to get away. Yeah.
You want to
If
sing the
I
new
ever
unsub
see
intro
you
song?
if you have a fucking yacht next year, I'm gonna know it was Raytheon.
Hey, Ray, cut us all in, okay?
There's a lot less bots on Twitter. I wonder what Ryan's doing. He's fucking on his yacht.
bleeding bodies.
Just bought a jet.
You never sang that cadence.
No.
I guess I'm a little older.
God,
This
your
is back
cadences
when
are
we
so
had like
good.
the
That's how
whole
it's gonna
like
happen.
killing
He gets a
commies
yacht.
thing, you know. There was that.
The Twitter trolls disappear, and the government's like, we don't have any missiles that are about to expire. Like that's the process.
had
of how
C-130
it-
There was
down
like, I wish all the ladies were pies on a shelf, and I was the baker. I'd eat them all myself. I said, hey, Passerifa. Hey, Barbariba. Left, right, left, right, left, right, you're
I
out
feel
of
like the
sight.
military had more soul back then.
All I had was killing the baby
They had
seals.
Sergeant Johnson.
I would have ran fucking all day longer. I'm like, this dude's really fucking good.
I get a repeat of
You can do that
C-130
stuff
rolling down
in
the
the
strip
90s.
19 times
know.
during a fucking run.
Well, I told you my watch story. I don't know if I should tell this story.
Oh yeah, I mean you can if you want to.
Actually, let's
I don't
do
know
that.
if I
Wait,
should do
hold.
that.
We'll do it on the after show. Brandon, you wanna?
I got this one. I got this
you
one.
got it? You
Join
got
us
it?
on the after show where Eli Double Tap is going to butt chug an entire bottle of calamine lotion.
With Old Bay on the rim.
Sir?
We're getting some old paper. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I felt like saying that.
That's fine. You just gotta close out everyone's names too.
You're right.
And where
We've
we
got
find it.
Eli Double Tap, Nick the Fat Electrician, Ryan McBeth, myself, and Habitual Line Crosser.
Where do
We
we-
will see you at the after show.
Well, first, where do we
after
find
that.
you beautiful humans?
Oh, you can find me at, what am I, Ryan McBeth Programming at YouTube, or The Real Ryan McBeth on Instagram, or ryanmcbeth.substack.com. And if you're a bad guy, see you soon.
Macbeth, read me a sonnet.
Jesus.
By the twitching of my thumb, something wicked is when it comes to
Jesus. Habituallinecrosser.com. I can't beat that. I like Mitchell's.
That's your show. I like Mitchell. I love you. See you on the after show. Patreon. Bye.
ZZZZ. I'm hungry.